am not satisfied with the first two recordings. They were full recordings. But I guess because the topic is just really so interesting and I've invested on it, maybe that's the reason why I wanted it to be more relevant. Hey, stranger, welcome back. My name is Lee, and these are Decapitated Thoughts. Let me ask you, are you a jealous person? I have to pause right there. Why? Because I really want you to think about it. Are you a jealous person? Now, I'll help you by telling you what Merriam-Webster defined being jealous to be. So, hostile toward a rival or one believed to enjoy an advantage. Intolerant of rivalry or unfaithfulness. Disposed to suspect rivalry or unfaithfulness. Vigilant guarding a possession. Let it sink in. And let me just say that again. Hostile toward a rival. Now let me go back to my question. Do you think you're a jealous person? It took me a failed marriage to conclude that I am not a jealous person. And maybe you don't have to go through the same thing for you to realize that now. All my life, I've been told that I am a jealous girl. Just to give you a little bit of a backstory, it took my parents 5 years before they had me. Within that 5 years, they had 5 miscarriages and 1 dead baby boy. So when I came about into the world, it was celebrated. Everybody was happy. And I only enjoyed that for 2 years. I am the eldest of 3 daughters. So I have 2 younger sisters. Being a girl and being in a family with 3 daughters, most people probably had pictured that we would have like sibling rivalry. I probably up until I was 2, all the attention was on me. And being with 2 other sisters, the attention would sometimes be on the second one or on the youngest one. And sometimes I just want to have a part of that. So all the adults in my life at that time said that I was acting really jealous. And since I didn't really understand so much when I was a kid, I just took it to heart and that maybe I'm really a jealous person. See, I don't fault them. I don't fault the adults in my life at that time. So that includes my parents, aunts, uncles, older cousins, neighbors, whoever came into that house when I was a kid. I do not fault them because, even before I realized and concluded that I'm not a jealous person, I would also interchangeably use jealousy and envy, because these 2 words are very close to each other. There's a thin line separating them that people, they're not confused. They would just use them interchangeably without really thinking of the word. So let's reconsult Merriam-Webster and ask, what is envy? So envy is a painful or resentful awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another, joined with a desire to possess the same advantage. Whereas jealousy or being jealous is being hostile toward a rival or one believed to enjoy an advantage. From those 2 definitions, you can hear that the state of being jealous is geared toward a person, toward a rival, or one believed to enjoy an advantage. And envy is geared toward what that person has or what that person is currently enjoying. It's an awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another person. So it's not geared toward the person. And growing up, or rather, after the failed marriage, I realized that growing up, I wasn't jealous. I was envious. I was envious of the attention that were given to my sisters and not to me. In fact, I loved my sister. I loved them so much. Believe it or not, when I started working, I spoiled them. Whatever they wanted, well, so long as I can buy it for them, I'll get it for them. And at one point, if they wanted a boyfriend, if I can just make a boyfriend, I would for them. So, yeah, I wasn't a jealous person. I came to realize that towards the end of the marriage, when it finally came to light that there was another person in the story. Um, you see, that part, I was really angry, not because there's another person. I was angry because my intellect was challenged. I had known about the existence of the other girl for a very long time. Like sometimes he would forget to close his Facebook chat, and I don't know how many times I've offered to be close to his female friends, but he would always say no. And was I ever jealous of that? No, I did not. When he says no, I would just let it go. Not because I am trusting, but because, well, not that I'm, but because it's a thing that you have to do when you're in a relationship. You have to trust the other person. It was just probably he was an abuser or he was a pathological liar. I don't really know. I haven't seen an MRI of his brain, so I wouldn't know. But the point is, I never made any big deal out of his closeness to that person or to any other girl for that matter. I'd probably be asking about certain exes and whatnot, but really that's about it. To have an argument about that, no, I would save my energy for some other arguments. And I never told anyone about that. Really, I never told anyone about that because I easily get swayed. Up until the marriage had ended, I was really confused by a lot of traits that I have. Like, for example, if I'm really jealous or not. So, if I go to friends, I know that whatever they say, I would listen and I would believe that, and that would become my reality. So, I would be swayed. It happened a long time ago, so I already have an idea of what would happen. So, I'm not really a jealous person. Now, previously in certain conversations before, I never say that I'm not a jealous person, but sometimes in conversations, maybe the other person realizes that I may not be a very jealous person, or I may not be a crazy jealous girlfriend or a crazy jealous wife, right? So I'll tell you how they would react once they realize that. They play the devil's advocate. If not, they are just plain straight out challenging the trait or what I am. Technically, I have had conversations with people wherein they throw in really, really weird scenarios. Like, really, that happens? Kind of scenarios. And I don't know how many debates or how many arguments I had been in wherein they would want to convince me that maybe I'm a jealous person or maybe I'm jealous towards a particular situation. Now I can tell everyone that I have concluded that I am not a jealous person. It's just not really me. Now, I'm not saying that nothing's gonna make me jealous. For sure, there is something that can make me jealous, but maybe it should be screaming right into my face before I'd be jealous. So, before we move on, I know that was a long time, but before we move on, I want you to ask yourself again, are you a jealous person? Yes or no? Because maybe you're in the same position that I am. Maybe you're just really easily swayed. Maybe you're also just overanalyzing things, but in reality, you don't really care about it. So think about it. Jealousy is geared towards a person, and envy is geared towards something that the person enjoys. For example, if I look at Instagram, I see people traveling. I am not jealous of the person traveling. I am jealous of the opportunity to be able to travel. So I guess we can say that's the politically correct way of looking at things when it comes to jealousy and envy. No, but I'm not saying that there aren't any persons who are jealous. I've known a lot of crazy jealous girlfriends, and sometimes they are not at fault. Particularly if they had gone through really traumatic experiences. With guys, I've only known a few. So there are more girls who would become crazy jealous girlfriends or wives. Sometimes I don't understand other people in a relationship. Let's just review it a little bit. Remember that in a relationship, there are three basic components: you, the relationship, and the other person. So you have to know the other person as much as you want to have this relationship. You would want that person as much as you want this relationship. Because if you're just keeping the relationship, then you don't, you're blurring the other person out. It's just really weird when the relationship actually becomes like a fortress for you to lean on when there are certain needs that you have, and the other person sort of melts into the wall of that particular relationship, and you see them as one thing. They're two different entities, by the way. You have to understand the other person on the other side of the table. Your table is your relationship. That person might have had experienced really bad traumatic relationships, and they are at no fault. Now, I'm not justifying you if you're the person on the other end of the table. I'm just validating the experience that you have. But you also have to make a conscious effort, whether you're in a relationship or not, to heal yourself. You can turn them into a scar so that it would remind you, and it would still hurt every now and then just to keep you on your toes. But you have to make that as a conscious decision that you want to move forward with that, or you totally want to close the wound and be a better person. All right? But always remember that you have three components in a relationship. So if you already know that the other person's crazy jealous, why still do things to make the other person crazy jealous? You're even crazier that person for doing that. So pause and think about that. What's your intention? If your intention is just to really know if they care for you, stop right now. Don't romanticize jealousy. It has been romanticized by TV so much, but do not romanticize jealousy. It's not a measure of love. It's not a measure of how much a person cares for you. That's just some crap your television shows had taught you growing up, but it's not. Jealousy is good in little packages. According to a CNN article titled "Can Jealousy Be Good for a Relationship?", romantic jealousy did serve an evolutionary purpose to motivate our ancestors to prevent mate poaching. So, jealousy can also be good in small doses, according to Dr. Helen Fisher, the author of Why We Love. She's a biological anthropologist. So she said a little bit of jealousy in a healthy relationship is fine. It's going to wake you up when you're reminded that your mate is attractive and you're lucky, so it can stimulate you to be nicer and friendlier. If you're in a healthy relationship and you get jealous a bit, it should it should drive you to become nicer to your mate, and maybe to be more creative in in ways on how you present to them that you love them and that you think they're special, and that it from the first day it hasn't changed. And for long relationships, usually this happens where the other person would be so much integrated in your life that everything becomes just normal and you don't really see them as something special. So if they get to talk to somebody, say handsome or beautiful, and you feel a tinge of jealousy, that's good because it's just telling you, it's just reminding you that what you have with you right now is something that you want to keep, something that you want to take care of, and someone that you would probably want to spend the rest of your lives with. It's also a good point to realize that maybe, now that you're feeling this tinge of jealousy, maybe this is how this person is important to you because there's a little bit of a threat that you might lose this person. So in that way, jealousy is good. But let's just go back a little bit to the traumatic experience. Most people who had been in traumatic relationships, sometimes they don't even know that the way that they deal with things would have had changed. Sometimes they don't even know that they're already being overjealous or they're already overthinking. What I can say is overthinking and jealousy is not a good combination because normally it results to paranoia. Honestly, I don't understand why some men or some women would say if the partner is not jealous, then maybe they don't love them. Honestly, why would you want your girlfriend or your boyfriend to be jealous with every other girl or guy that you talk to? That's paranoia. Unless there's really something wrong with you in your brain, let's have it under MRI. Maybe you're an abuser or something like that. Maybe you need to have yourself checked. But if you're probably a normal person, you don't want your girlfriend or your boyfriend to be jealous with every other person that you meet, because that's not healthy. So if you already know that the other person's in that position, don't do anything to get them jealous because there's really no point. You're just gonna make them miserable. And if you know that the other person is already feeling that, because for sure they would be displaying signs. I mean, jealous girlfriends, crazy jealous girlfriends, or jealous boyfriends, they normally would say it or they would show it in some weird way. Have an honest, open communication, or let me make that more casual. Have an honest, open talk with that person. Tell them, hey, can we sit down? Can we talk about this? Okay, so you saw me talking to this girl. How did that make you feel? Why do you think you were jealous about it? How can I make it better? And then you can also tell them that you can assure them that in your past relationship this might have had happened. I can assure you that in this relationship it's not gonna happen. But be sincere about it, of course. If and when you can't really take it anymore, you're free to leave. That person would be okay. The kindest thing to do is to let that person heal on their own terms, not your term. You're free to leave. And anyway, you can still be friends with that person, but just don't give them false hope because that's a totally different story. You can still support that person. Just let them heal on their own terms because dealing with something traumatic is not easy. And if you are the person in a traumatic situation, maybe if it's already leading to paranoia, face it and be brave about it and seek help. Because it will not do good for you and it will not do good for any other future relationship. And sometimes these kinds of words are better heard from a stranger than from somebody close to you. Now, if you have a friend who's not really the jealous type, Don't go instilling the seeds of jealousy just because you are. Okay? That person is fine. They're normal. There are really I've already met a couple of female females, girlfriends, who are in the same situation. They're not very jealous, of other women. Because honestly, if for me, might not be for you, but for me, if I'm in a relationship and the boyfriend talks to another girl and that eventually leads to something, that's their problem. They're the ones at fault. Of course, it would feel bad. But in the long run, when I look at it, that's what you wanted. And I hope you're happy with your decision. I hope it turns out well for you. Yeah, and that's where I stand with everybody. I don't really get angry so much, honestly. I get angry for the first few months, but after that, I don't carry anger for the rest of my life. I'd forgive, not forget. I keep tabs, um, but I just don't carry the anger with me around because it's not gonna serve me any purpose. Anyway, so actually, it's not much of a unpopular opinion not to be jealous in a relationship, but I just really want to demystify that. It's not a measure of love. If the other person's not jealous about what you're doing and you're trying to make them jealous, maybe that's just really their personality, and be happy about it. That they're not jealous about it. It's not a measure of love. And if you're with somebody who's already going to a level of paranoia, seek help for that person or ask the person if they want to seek help. You can help them too. If you can't go beyond what you're doing now, leave and let that person heal by themselves. And if you're that person, again, seek help. Reach out, because it's not going to do you good in the long run, and it's not going to do good for any of your relationships. So, stranger, I hope you learned something today. And let's talk about overthinking on our next episode. That is also something really personal because I am an overthinker. So, is it something that you can control? Is it something good or bad? And we'll get to see that as how we saw jealousy today. Thank you so much for your time, stranger. I'm happy that you're here, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.